guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over all the books that I read in October. I actually listened and read to quite a lot of books. Very impressed with myself this month. Like I had mentioned in my previous video for September, I was like inspired back on a reading kick after reading House of Salt and Sorrows. So I read / listened to 8 books this month. I know. So we better get started with this video. It's October 30th, so that's why this is still up when I upload this. I don't know when, but it'll definitely be long before Halloween's over. Long after Halloween's over. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start out with the Sundown Motel. That's the first book that I read or listened to by Simon St. James. Oh my gosh, it was such a good book to read during October. And I'm sorry that you can hear the dogs playing with our chew toy. Kingsley. Shh. He don't care. Okay. The Sundown Motel was a very good book. It was just about this girl that's trying to find out what happened to her aunt. Her aunt moved to this one place and then disappeared just like out of thin air, and no one had reported her missing until like 8 days later or 10 days or something like that. So anyways, like the niece that had never met this aunt before but just wanted to find out like what happened to her, and actually ended up working at the place that she went missing at. So it was an overall very good book, very suspenseful, very like there was a lot of mystery to it, and there's definitely some twists to it that I didn't see. So I rated that one 5 stars. It was very good. I would highly recommend that one. This one was a lot longer to listen to, so it is a long, I don't even know how thick like the book is, but I'm assuming it would be a pretty thick book. And then Jana has all her books over here because she wants to film a video. Next book I listened to was Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. That was also a very good listen. I will say I think I wouldn't have read the book. Like there's something about how the narrators actually like read it. Like they read it like they narrated it very authentically with like the accents and then how they would pronunciate the words that kept me really intrigued. Like that kept me really like, oh yeah, we are in Mexico. Oh yeah, like it was just overall very good. Like I know that I'm Hispanic and I can like also come up with that tone of voice in my head, but it's just easier to listen to it. So I definitely would have, I don't know if I would have kept reading the book though, because I think it was definitely a mystery book that was a little more suspenseful to listen to. I really think I would have gotten bored reading it. I don't know if that makes sense. Next book was Long Lost by Jacqueline Quest. I happened to read this one out of like the blue. I found it on the library app that I listened to my books on. Easy Kingsley. And it was a young adult novel, a mystery one. It was actually surprisingly really good. I did not expect much, and I was a little annoyed at times because the narrator would try and like portray a little kid voice, and it was like a little naggy, a little high pitched, and I was just like, I already get enough of that home. Just kidding. But yeah, I would definitely recommend that one. It was surprisingly good, and if there's a second one, I would actually really like to read it. And then the next book I actually read, I have right here. I have The Ex-Hex. I read this with my friends, and we this was the book of the month that we tried to read together, and it was actually really good. It was really good towards the end. The beginning of the book and like middle, I was just like, meh, it's okay. But the end of the book was actually pretty good. But I feel like it ended really kind of suddenly, and the main character, Vivian, not a huge fan of. Yes. not a huge, hey, be nice. Not a huge fan of. She just seemed a little like annoying and naggy, and like she just held on to this grudge for this dude that she dated for 3 months in college. 3 months, and 9 years has passed, and she's still holding a grudge against him. Like, girl, please, that was 3 months in college. I think you're okay. Goodness. So anyways, I think that was probably the frustrating part, is just like knowing the backstory to this, and so you're like, really, you're still holding on to this for that long? The guy seemed fine, but she was just annoying. Okay, next book I listened to was A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. It was an interesting listen. I felt odd sometimes while I was like working away, and then it'd be like some like very intense romance scene, and I'm like, okay, good thing I have my earpods in, and good thing I'm not at the office. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. It was interesting. I do like Greek mythology. It's weird to me listening to this. It was weird listening to this because I know people that practice witchcraft, and like Hades is one of their like deities, and so like obviously I watch them like talk very highly and respectfully of Hades, and here I am listening to a book about him messing around with another goddess, and it's a little off-putting. So my personal, I don't know, it was weird. It was weird. I didn't know how to put the two together. But it was good. I would read the second one. And then, okay, so that was between Hades and Persephone, right? Like, okay. And so then the next book I read was, I gave A Touch of Darkness 4 stars. It probably would have been 5 stars had I not had that weird like knowledge that some people actually still worship these, like not still worship, but you know, still like work with these deities and respect them and talk to them really highly. And here I am listening to this book that's probably really degrading them. So anyways, the next book I listened to was The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I gave this one 5 stars. It was also it had some Greek mythology attached to it, and they did mention Persephone a lot, which I just got done listening to Persephone and Hades just messing around, and so now it was just a little like, hey, I know a little bit about that goddess. Yeah, she's messing around in this book. So it was kind of weird to listen to like after that one. But overall, it was really good. The ending, the plot twist, I was not expecting. So I would definitely recommend that one. There was times where it was a little bit of it was like slow pace, and it was like, I guess you would call it almost like a slow burn. The whole book was a slow burn. It's like slowly getting there, slowly like hinting at certain things, and you didn't see it. Like you didn't see it in front of your eyes. And actually the ending, I thought it was gonna be one person that was like the bad guy, and it turned out to be a completely different one. But then like once you figure out, you're like, oh, really? I didn't catch that. And you're like, wait, but there was like just a few glimpses of like, oh, you're right, that probably could have been my hints, but you would have never guessed. So anyways, really good book, really good. Okay, last but not least, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Oh my gosh. This book is so good. It is probably going to be like the next Harry Potter for me. Like, this series is so good. I bought the second one yesterday, and I hadn't even finished this yet. I finished it last night after I came back, but it is so good. Like, to me, this whole entire new world setting, she just really wrote it so well. Like, you were definitely transported into a whole entire different realm. You like got to experience it. Like, you were just, it's good. Just read it. Just read it. Just read it. Just read it. I did read that it got picked up as a TV show for Hulu, so fingers crossed that happens. I keep on seeing all these TikToks about like the main girl Feyre and some other dude, but I thought she's with this one dude in here, and I'm all confused, so I gotta read the second one. So I gotta keep going and figure out what's happening with this girl's love life. But it's not a romance book. There is like a few, like 2 scenes, I think, that's a little spicy, I guess, but it's, the whole rest of the book is definitely just a fantasy book, and hands down a very, very well written one. I would highly recommend this. I cannot wait to start reading the next book, and there's like, I think 4 more books after this, 4 or 5. So I cannot wait to start reading, and I really hope that this just becomes like some big thing, because I'm in love with this series. Like, I stayed up late a few days reading this. Okay, given it's not that big, but like, I stayed up and reading, and it just reminded me of when I used to stay up late reading Harry Potter. So this is my new love right now. This is my new favorite series right now. So I can't wait to start reading the second one. Anyways, guys, these are the books that I read for the month of October and listened to. Lots of good ones, and I don't think there's any duds. I literally listened to all good books and read all good books. I will say I did attempt 2 different books this month to listen to, but I could not get behind the narrator. So I don't know if I would just end up reading it or what, but I cannot listen to it, to a few of them. So I guess that also plays a part into these. It's just like, these are actually good narrations. November is no book by November, so that sucks. So I'm gonna be reading what I have at home, and listening to whatever I have on like Audible and my library app. So no new book buys. I bought 2 yesterday, the second one of this and then a different one. My friends and I are going to be reading A House by the Cerulean Sea for November. So if you guys want to read along with us, feel free to. I don't have the book on me right now. It's in my room. But anyways, rambling about books. I could talk about books forever. All right, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.